Okay, good evening. Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to yet another one of my fabulous videos. Just plugging along, man. Gonna try to improve with each time, figuring this out, all the things. Okay. Hope everyone is having a lovely wrap up to this Labor Day weekend. Some of you that might have had Monday today off. It's nice because it makes for a shorter week, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, so today I'm doing a personal video and associated with the MS thing because, well, this is MS associated. Yours truly here, as I posted in my short that you might have caught, I get to have sinus surgery. And everybody's like, what the hell? What does that have to do with multiple sclerosis? Well, a lot of the medications, as I may have said before, can cause a side effect of them is upper respiratory infections. You might have heard it on some of the commercials. I know they've said it with Ocrevus. I've heard it mentioned. I've heard it also mentioned with Kesimpta, which is what I'm on. And as it so happens, I've been on both, and here I am with permanent junk in my nose. Granted, I have always kind of attributed things to that in my family, we have bad sinuses running kind of on my mother's side. Pardon me, I'm about to itch my nose as we speak. But this has been just totally heightened with being on this medication. I have constant junk just spewing out of me. It's gross. I hack like a cat. I sound like a smoker. I'm coughing up phlegm balls all the time. Yeah, super attractive, I know. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't have a tissue in my hand or in my pocket. Everybody that is around me, my loved ones, all love to tell me how it drives them crazy where they find tissues all over the place because that's who I am. And I wash tons of tissues because I forget to take them out of my pockets all the time. So I have had surgery before. I had it in about 2018, and I'll probably post a couple pictures. I've got a little bit of footage, nothing exciting, just kind of little photos, And because I had done some research, it was simultaneous. I kept having this sinus infection went on for, honest to God, like a year long. I happen to be allergic to penicillin, so I can't obviously be treated with an antibiotic in the penicillin family. So we ran through all the course of antibiotics. I went on, from the mildest or might be more broad spectrum. We can talk about that maybe later. Those of you in the medical field, all the way up to super high-powered narrow spectrum. And the last one was what did it. It knocked my sinus infection out. However, that was also the same time that my ear, nose, and throat doctor, also known as an otolaryngologist, I swear I can pronounce it, sat me down and said, talk to me about Rituxan, because at the time I was on Rituxan. And I said, I'm so glad you asked, because at that same exact time I had just happened to have come across some literature doing my own research within scholarly journals, if you will, that correlated the use of Rituxan with chronic sinus infections. He had told me, he says, yes, I treat many patients with this type of side effect and or condition. So I had a turbinate reduction, which means they removed some polyps up in my sinuses and also straightened out my septum, as I guess my septum was considerably crooked. All was well and good for a while. And unfortunately, though, I still feel like I want to say, over the course of several years, can't say that I've felt much of a difference. I breathe a little bit better, but yet I'm still constantly, I have to lay on my left side. I feel always congested on this side. Thank God for Flonase, and it's over the counter now. I would do a couple squirts of Flonase. That would help clear me up. And I constantly have, like I said, the hacking like a cat or a smoker. I have drainage that accumulates in my throat overnight. It's super gross in the morning. I'm always struggling. I feel like I'm digging for clams, trying to get this cough, get this junk up out of my chest. It's awesome. So in any case, I had recently had an MRI and went to go see my neurologist who sat me down and pulled me up and asked me when the last time I had seen an ENT doc. And I said, well, I had my surgery back in 2018. That was the last time. And he immediately said, my doc is he's very funny. He goes, well, you're probably gonna need to see one. You're gonna need a procedure. I'm like, okay. And he goes, I had a patient that didn't treat this. And he goes, he died. Very, very cutthroat. I loved it. I found the humor quite amusing. So he referred me to a new doc here, and I sat down with him, and lo and behold, they looked at my scan and they basically confirmed this. So let me show you with my ultimately totally high-tech drawing of what I'm going to have done. Are you ready? This is phenomenal. Here we go. All right, can you see this? Isn't this wonderful? I'm so skilled. So what you see here and here, that is where I am totally filled. So on a normal scan, whether it be a CT scan or an MRI, it would look like this in all the sections where it's clear and it's open. Or on a scan, it would look black because that means that it's air. Unfortunately, on my scans, you can't see through. It actually looks white, even though, no, not green. Although it could be kind of green, who knows? But that's what it looks like on my scans. So obviously because of this, and he's not sure, the physician that is, if this is fluid, if it's pus, or what, but long story short, we need to clear this out. And in the long run, hopefully it's going to provide me an incredible amount of comfort. So yeah, isn't this awesome, my drawing? I'm super proud of it. You have more sinuses than just these 4, but this is just to show you an example of kind of like what it looks like of where some sinuses are kind of relative in your head. And that's what I get to have done. I'm so excited. So I will obviously document the course of action. I think hopefully my surgery will be taking place next month. It all depends on also insurance, which I did of course cover a little bit in the last video. Not super in depth, but it's probably gonna go through a review. This is a situation where the doctor will have to put in specific codes and kind of ultimately tell the insurance company what he will be doing, so that way they will approve it. And then the big hurry up and wait of how much I will have to pay. Hopefully not too much, because obviously there is a part of your insurance that will cover for things like this. And I would have a little out of pocket, but hopefully not too much. So that's my story. Fun times. This is of course just to illustrate one of the lovely side effects that can come with multiple sclerosis, aside from what might be the obvious ones in terms of not being able to use your limbs. It all just varies. So this is just to show, hey, we all have our things. It just comes in all different forms in terms of our trials and tribulations with this fantastic illness. So that's what I have for this Monday. I know it was super exciting, but I thought I would share that with you. Again, as always, if you have any further questions or comments, I would love to talk to you, reach out. Anything in terms of help I might be able to provide for questions answered, reach out to me. I put my address. I know I'm probably not supposed to. I don't care. I put my email in there, whatever. Just reach out to me. I'm here for you. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you next time.